His voice has to be one of the most iconic on Hawaii's radio waves. Clean, punctual, and soulful. When live on the air, you could hear or even feel the passion for music just oozing out of your speakers. Back when I-94 was ruling the airwaves, he was king. A master of the mix, regardless of if it's digital or on wax. His omnipotent potential had him at one point on the radio, DJing, and owning a club. I mean, shoot, come on now. He started an outreach program for the youth to learn how to DJ, produce, promote, and organize events. His students are still, to this day, making moves in the industry. A man of many words and a fellow vinyl junkie, Hawaii's Barry White, James Cole.
Wow. Hawaii's Barry White?
Hey, man.
Hey, man. That's funny.
Your voice, dude. Like, seriously.
Let me get low.
Seriously, before I met you and I just listened, I was like, this guy got to be a brother. I'm sure you got that a lot.
It still happens today. I take it as a compliment.
Hey, that's 100% compliment. And then when I met you, I'm like, wait, he's not black? I was like, oh, he's from the Bay. Okay, I get it. He's originally from the Bay. Yeah. So when you're in the Bay, what made you move from the Bay to Hawaii?
It was, it was by choice. It was quite interesting. Well, when I first moved here, it was when I first got here. I just came here on a visit because my dad, separated and all that kind of stuff. He moved to Hawaii. I'm like, Hawaii. Anyway, so I come over here and hang out for a couple of months, and I go back. And, I'm 13. So, I'm starting to act up a little bit.
Yeah.
But Dad's not here to,
hold
it down.
Yeah,
so I was, driving my mother crazy. Let's just say that. So I was all into all kinds of craziness. I was already selling drugs and, just
Here in Hawaii or
in San Francisco.
Right.
Yeah, I was a fool. I was on that track to be a fool.
Right.
And my mom one day said, keep acting a fool. Because I think the cops brought me home one too many times. And she was like, keep acting a fool. I'm going to send it to your dad. In my brain, I was like, that's all you needed to say.
Yeah, let's go.
So I got into some more trouble. Cops brought me home, and I looked up at the stairs. She says, your bag's packed.
Wow.
And she put me on the airplane and called my dad while I was on the airplane and said, you might want to be at the airport in 6 hours because your son is on the way.
Wow.
And that's how I got to Hawaii.
But she sent you to Hawaii.
Yeah, to be where I'm at because he was the only one who's going to be able to handle me.
Right.
He's the only one I respected.
Right.
I'm 13,
Yeah.
and a punk.
And back then you weren't DJing at all?
Not even a little bit.
Anything?
Not even a little bit. I was. They weren't even mixtapes, but I was recording all my favorite songs to cassettes.
Right.
And that's a whole other cool story. But
so like pause mixes at all?
Not even a pause mix. Just
I like this song.
Just recording. I like this song. Boom,
right.
boom, boom, boom. And when I first got here, that was kind of my saving grace because I went to Washington Intermediate.
Okay.
And, I walk on the campus with a box.
Nice.
And they're like, what is this music? I'm like, what are you talking about? What is this music?
They're like alien.
I'm like, how do you not know funk? How do you not know Flashlight? How do you not know Parliament Funkadelic?
Yeah.
So that was kind of a, ooh.
So when you walked there, you're like, hey, I got something right here. Like you already
Felt
sensed
like
it. You already sensed it.
I started selling those tapes for $10 a pop.
Dang, back then, 10 bones.
At 13. I was making $100 a week, easy.
What?
My number one customer, you'll know, D.
Nice.
He was my number one customer.
Ways.
I promise. You ask him any day.
What, dude? This is crazy.
But anyways, go on.
Wait, so it wasn't even a mix. It was just
wasn't even a mix.
It was just recorded music.
Well, I mean, the very first one.
Yeah.
Eventually, I ended up.
So that was 13. What year was that, roughly?
80.
80. Okay.
Yeah.
And you didn't even start DJing yet. So what was your first experience with like hip hop, like in general? Or you're technically right at the birth of it, so there was no real hip hop technically, right?
I love saying this, and I always get this from Kool Herc when I met him. He's like, "We made it, and they named it because it wasn't called hip hop.
Right,
it was just called rap music.
Yeah,
I'm glad you asked that question because I was thinking about it in bed last night.
Let's go.
My first one when I came here to Hawaii on a vacation. I can't even make this up. My dad picks me and my sister up from the airport. And my dad was crazy back in those days, and we're not going to get into that.
Your dad owned clubs too, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
And that's one of the inklings.
Okay.
Let's get back to that later on. So he picks us up at the airport, and the first thing he does is drops me and my sister off at the point after. He goes, there's a teen party going on here from 6 to 9. I'll come back at 9.
Go party.
So me and my sister, I'm like, we kind of walk in, and I don't know what to expect, and
Awesome.
Anyway, so we're walking around, I'm listening, and I hear this rap song.
Yeah.
Can't make it up. I hear this rap song, and I'm like, whoa, what is that? It's rapping. I've never heard rap before. What is that?
So did you even know it was rapping?
I just
Heard
somebody was rhyming.
Rhyming. Yeah,
Somebody was
yeah,
rhyming.
yeah.
It was, and I remember going up to the DJ,
And that was
the
who's
late
DJ?
great DJ Tony Makakau. And I walked up to him and I was like, what is this? And I'm just a little kid. He pulls up the record. Fatback Band, King Tim III.
Wow.
And I'm already a fan of Fatback, and I'm like, they're rhyming? What? Anyways, that was I was in. I was like, whoa.
That was a game
What is
changer
that?
right there.
Yeah. I was bugged out. And that was on a vacation. So when I go back
Okay.
back to San Francisco, I lived in San Francisco on Mango Street, and there was a band playing they were practicing, and all of a sudden they were singing Good Times, and then they rolled into, hip hop and all that.
Yeah.
They started rapping. I was like, that sounds like that other song. They're rap. Wait a minute. Good Times. I remember rushing home.
Oh.
And I searched my Good Times cassette.
Yeah.
Did I miss something? Is there like another version that I didn't
Not
hear?
a break.
Nothing.
Right.
That was my intro.
Wow, that's crazy. So that was a live band you heard.
That was a live band. They were just goofing around.
Right.
And then hip hop.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is that? I must have missed something on the cassette.
Oh,
Not
wow.
knowing that they were just,
They're just riffing.
They're just ripping. Yeah. So
That's insane. So then you moved to Hawaii.
then 6 months later, I moved to Hawaii.
And then so what was the thing that you're like, hey man, I want to DJ? Was that like a happenstance, or you felt that pull, like I gotta figure out how to get this music and
It was
or-
a few little things. If I can just off the top, I think the very first thing was one. I'll go back to my dad. My dad owned one of the biggest nightclubs in San Francisco, gay nightclubs in San Francisco called Oil Can Harry. So every now and then he would take me. Oh, it's in the middle of the daytime, and I go inside the club. It's all dark. He says, "I'm just here to pick up some money," and da 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 da. And then we'd be roaming around. I always remember one day I was like, "Who is that?" He goes, "Oh, that's Grace Jones. She's going to be performing later on tonight." Anyway, so I gallivant into the DJ booth, see all the records. I see 2 turntables. I'm like, why are there 2 turntables? I'm 12.
Yeah.
I might have been 10.
Right.
I was like, why are there 2 turntables? Oh, that's the DJ. He mixes. I go, mixes? He goes, yeah. Anyways, and then a couple days later, he comes back with a cassette. He goes, Jimmy. My family called me Jimmy. Jimmy. Listen, this is the DJ I'm telling you about. Listen, the songs change, and it doesn't stop.
Doesn't stop.
And I always remember I think it was like
that's on
Crank
my-
It Up and some other song. It was
Okay.
anyways, I was like, whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So that was kind of an inkling.
Right.
And plus my dad really
Well, you were
enjoyed
like,
that.
yeah, it's like just through like, not osmosis, you could say, but you're around it.
I was around it.
And you already seemed like you already had that your spirit was already linked to funk and soul.
Oh yeah,
and
I mean, come on.
music
My dad, my mom, my parents had me when they were 17.
Right,
I mean,
right. In San Francisco.
Yeah, so I'm all around it. My
Right.
mom's Motown, my dad's funk, and Isley Brothers. It's always on.
Right.
And then when I come here, and I got those cassettes,
Yeah.
and they're not mixed. It's just my favorite songs.
Right.
And people
But
started
that you recorded it from the Bay.
from the Bay.
And okay, so in Hawaii,
KPOO. It was on. I always remember my favorite station over there was KPOO and KSOL and KDIA. So I'd always go between those stations and record. Anyway, so when I finally after I got kicked out of New Valley, that didn't last even 2 months.
into Washington.
I had to go to Washington.
Okay.
And I remember they were all like, "Woo."
Wait, real quick, was DMFD going to school at Washington at the same time?
No, he
Okay.
was in Kaneohe. He would take the bus, and I'd meet him at the bus stop every week. He says, "I don't care. You give me as many tapes as you got."
What?
That's
Shout
a whole
out to Darren.
dude. That's a whole other story.
DMFD. Wait, how did you guys even meet?
Probably the clubs, the teen disco clubs.
Okay.
Yeah,
And he would travel from Kaneohe
Yep.
to meet you just
Yep.
to get these
Yep.
tapes.
Yep.
Okay.
That's a little early on. That's probably 82 now, 83. I'm talking right now. I'm in 80.
Okay.
When I first moved here,
Right.
and then Washington Intermediate. I always remember walking to school with my box, and when you're young, I'm half Mexican, I'm half Filipino, but I grew up with all the brothers.
Yeah.
And when you're 13, you're trying to figure out your identity.
Exactly.
So I walk in, I'm in cholo mode. So I got my Ben Davison's jacket on.
nice.
I got my hair slicked back.
Okay.
You know, I got my I got the garb on. Okay.
Let me guess. You stuck out like a sore thumb.
Oh, girls loved it. Guys hated it.
Ooh.
Didn't care. I had my radio, and that was it. So because I had all this music,
Yeah.
people started to gravitate me, and I thought that was kind of cool. It
Yeah.
was getting me over.
course, yeah.
You know. So there's another inkling.
Right.
You know. And I think I remember now. I moved back again.
Okay.
I moved back to San Francisco, and I did not want to go because I was starting to,
Yeah.
get some traction here,
Yeah,
just
yeah,
as
definitely.
far as having friends.
Especially at that age too, where everybody's so impressionable.
Yeah.
And you're trying to find yourself. You're trying to find your tribe. You're trying to. Who
Exactly,
are you?
exactly.
You're this guy from the mainland. You look local, but you're not local, and you're Mexican, Filipino. So you're kind of here, but you're kind of not. But hey, wait a minute. I got this music, and this music can bring us together. And this music can get me, girls, can get me to be like, okay, I'm not going to beat you up because I'm vibing
All
with
the above.
everybody.
All the above.
So you moved back?
So I moved back, and I was kicking. I didn't want to do it. Anyway, so now I'm a little, am I 14 now? Yeah, I'm 14.
Wow. You live a life.
And yeah. So anyways, I get snuck into a club. I always gravitated to the older cats, and I always remember, I remember I stole my dad's chain, and he had a big ounce
You
on
wore a
it.
chain.
Because I wanted to look old.
Right.
And I always remember the guys took me when we went to the club off of Broadway called the Palladium.
Okay.
And I got in.
Wow.
And I'm holding up that wall. But then I always remember listening to this DJ, and I was like, So Rough, So Tough. No, it wasn't So Rough, Tough. It was Heard It Through the Grapevine.
Okay.
The intro just kept on playing over and over. I was like, what version is that? And I can see him. He's,
Wow.
he's manipulating the record. And
Right.
I'm just like,
That's not a version.
that's dope. And I was living, and days go by, and then I'm at the, I'm in the lobby of the Fox Plaza, and some brother walks by me with playing So Rough, So Tough now, and the baby part, baby, boom, and it kept on going, baby. I actually chased the dude. I was like, yo, what version is that? He goes, that's my version. I'm a DJ,
that's
and I was
dope.
like, oh, all right, then. And then he walked on.
Right.
Anyways,
Well, by that time, when you were asking these questions, were you trying to figure out? You were saying what version, but you didn't know that it was them actually.
had no clue.
Yeah, so you're thinking, where did they get that version from?
Exactly.
And you didn't know that they were manipulating.
Nope. Nope. And then I moved back to Hawaii, and I remember, I know what I want to do now. I want to be a DJ.
Wow.
And I remember going to my dad, I'm young, 14 years old. I said, hey, I need some money. He goes, what are you talking about? I said, I know what I want to do in life. I said, I want to DJ.
14.
14. And he goes, so what do you need from me? I go, well, I need 2 turntables. And from what I'm hearing, I need 2 1200 Techniques turntables. I'll buy the cheapest mixer available. I've already looked at it. It's $68 at Radio Shack.
Right.
Without the crossfader. It was just the up and down. And then everything can plug into my JVC, so you don't need to buy me speakers.
Right.
He said, how much you need? I said, I need $1,200. He goes, okay. Here's what I'm going to do. You get $600 and I'll match you.
Nice.
I was like, word. Only job I ever had in my life, real outside of music. I went to go work
That's
at Burger
crazy.
King on University.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yep.
Put that little net in my hair.
Yeah.
Flipped them burgers. Saved up $600.
You were what, 14, 15?
No, I'm 14.
You hired at 14?
14, bro. And then, what happens now? I save up the 6.
Yeah.
I take my net out, and I'm like, I'm out. I've got
Oh,
no.
it was that quick?
It was about 6 months.
Right, yeah.
And then I went to my dad. I said, here's the money.
And was he surprised? He was like, no, I knew it was good.
No, he knew.
He knew.
Yeah, he already knew.
Wow.
He didn't care how I got
where'd
it.
you guys
He
get
probably
the-
thought I was going to go out there and mug somebody.
Where'd you guys get the text from? Where'd you guys buy Techniques back then?
You know what? I don't even remember.
I mean,
I
was
have no
Cherokee
clue.
around back then? No.
Yes.
No, they were.
Cherokee. As a matter of fact, Cherokee was around. They used to have them on display.
Yeah, I mean,
but
I
I don't
used to
think we
go-
got it from there. I mean, my dad's a nightclub owner, so
Right,
he,
so
he
yeah.
knew cats.
So you had 2 Techniques and a realistic mixer.
Yeah.
And that's why that's
And that's kind of how it started. I'm kind of skipping. So when I move, before I know I need these turntables, I actually meet this guy at Kaiser. I ended up going to Kaiser now.
Right.
And he was like, well, I got these 2 turntables at home. And and I know you're making all these tapes. If you come over to my house
Right.
and make your master,
Okay. Oh.
I want the first copy, and then you can use my turntables whenever you want.
Right.
He is not a DJ. He was just a spoiled cat with
Okay.
all these toys.
Yeah.
So I would go over there every week and make mixes in here.
So what did he do with that? He just wanted the first one.
He just wanted the first one.
Okay, I thought
he wanted to drive around his Toyota bumping.
I got this.
I got this.
I got
I'm the first
oh.
one. Yeah, that kind of thing.
So were you already making a name for yourself, just like
I don't
in
know.
high school?
I don't know. No,
Were you
not
known
re-
that,
well,
were you known as that guy? Like, oh, he's a DJ guy.
well, yeah.
music
By
guy?
the time I'm 14, so Silly's was the teen disco that we all went to.
Okay.
And
Who owns Silly's? Anyway?
It was a Hawaiʻi and some other cat. I wish I remembered his name. It was a Filipino cat, but it was two guys who owned it.
Okay.
And
what was the location?
right there on ALANUI and McCully.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a tiny little club. It was the world to me, but I think 300 people. It was jam packed.
Yeah.
And I lived 2 blocks away at the Wailana.
Wow.
So I would be always first. I would sit there, and I have my little records. I'm not a DJ yet. I'm learning how.
You'd bring your records.
I would bring my records,
That is
and I would
awesome.
sit there
Let's go.
in the sun,
What?
and then
So you'd wait for these teen nights to happen.
I wait for the teen nights to happen, and then finally when the doors would open, I would go inside there, and I try to make friends with the DJ.
Right. Which was that Tony Makakao?
No, Tony
Okay.
Makakao was elsewhere. When I first got there, it was Mike Taylor, Ahi, and Lisa D. And I think it was mainly Mike Taylor that was there in the beginning.
Right.
He goes, so what are you doing with those records? I said, there's nobody here yet. I just want to hear them loud.
Dude, I love it.
Can you just play these loud?
That's what's up.
And he would pop them. I'm like, oh, this sounds so good. This is way better than my radio.
Yeah.
Let's go. And then I would end up schooling him.
Oh, okay.
Like, where'd you get this? I'm like,
Right.
This.
Oh, because you went back and forth from the Bay. You got records that they don't have.
Yeah.
Okay, so you started doing that.
Yeah. Okay, now we're talking about records. So one day, because I am from San Francisco, I would always go to the Castro because we had a lot of family there. And then one day I'll be wandering around, and I always remember this record store called Aloha Records.
Okay.
And I used to go upside there and see all these records with one song on it.
Right.
What the hell is this? The 12-inch. I had no idea. Anyways,
Yeah.
I would go there all the time and steal records and all of that.
Switch labels? Did you do switch labels?
No.
sleeves?
No. I would just shove them down. It was thin back then, so I would
stealing.
shove them down. Oh, I would steal them. I'd be gone.
Oh.
Anyways, so when I got to Hawaii, I would always, I gravitated to the gay district where Hula's is and 80% straight and all of that, and I end up wandering into the back, and I'm like, a record store, The Beat Records.
Right. Yeah.
So I walk up beside there,
Is that
and
the one on Kuhio?
Yeah.
You got a 80%.
Yeah. It was right underneath.
Yeah.
And Kevin Okada, I will always give him the credit.
Yeah,
Kevin
shout out to
Okada, we became friends, and he's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, I love music." He goes, "Oh," then we become friends. I was like, "What?" So the 2 turntables. He goes, "Oh, I'm mixing," and now I'm kind of putting it together. I'm like, "Oh, that's what those dudes are doing." He goes, "You want to learn how to mix?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "You got turntables?" I go, "Yeah, I have no idea what I'm doing though."
Wow.
Here, listen to my tape. I just thought, hey, it didn't stop.
Biggest train wreck.
And then time goes by and we become friends, and he sees that I'm serious. He says, "Well, if you're serious, you just need to learn how to count."
Nice.
I'm like, "I know how to count." He goes, "No, you gotta learn how to count phrases. You have to learn how to make the."
Right.
I'm like, "What?" Anyway, so he listen to the song. Everything's in 32s. Everything's in these little bars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. See how it changes? See how it crescendos? See how it does that? I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "It doesn't matter what kind of music.
Yeah.
Any kind of music. It's all little phrases."
Right.
Whoa. Dad, turn the radio on. Watch. 5, 6, 7, 8. See how it changed? I mean, change the radio station. Listen to this rock song. 5, 6, 7. 9. See how it changed? This is great.
Like a bit of a new
Dude,
compartment in your brain.
I was bugged all the way out.
Every song.
I couldn't get out of my head.
Yeah.
So finally now
So
he's
Kevin
like,
is the one that actually introduced you or taught you how to mix.
yes. He told me how to phrase.
Right.
I didn't actually get behind there and he showed me how to put the needle on the and then all that. No, I had to go home and figure that out.
He was telling you 1 and 2.
Yeah. So it was hard. Like,
yeah.
1, 2, 3, where is it?
Yeah,
trying to find the beat. That was the hardest thing about mixing.
It is hard.
The hardest part. But once you get it, it's like Anyway, so I'm all over the place with my head right now. So
you'd go to the beat. Kevin would be there.
Yeah. Okay, so now I'm learning. Then I meet a friend, my great friend Montez Brown.
Okay.
He's from Chicago, And he's learning how to DJ too. So we would go to my house and we would practice every day. We would cut school just to practice. I knew my dad would sleep all day. My turntables were at his bar.
Oh.
I'd break into my dad's bar and we would practice. Because I knew he wasn't going to be there till at least noon.
He's sleeping.
Yeah, because he's sleeping. So I'd practice, and then close it all up, go to school, have lunch, come back, practice.
He knew though. He knew.
I don't know. You know, as you get older, I confess.
Yeah.
I don't confess till after I was 40, but you know.
Right.
But I always remember when me and Montez were practicing, we were trying to figure out how do these guys mix so fast and get it so fast, and we ended up seeing Keith Jacobson, one of the best DJs ever Hawaii has ever seen early on.
Where did he spin at?
He spun at Hula's and the Wave, and we would just sit there and watch him, and I'd be like, "Whoa, I get it." He's like, "What? Watch him." He's like, "What?" I'm talking to my friend Tez. He's not touching the turntable. Everything's in the pitch. That's how they're doing it fast.
Okay.
You're not going 5, 6, 7, 8. Right. Ooh, let's try to find the beat. Okay, let's start over again. Ooh, blah blah. No, it's 5, 6, 7, 8. Pop, poop. I'm in the mix. Let's go. I was like, that's what we have to do. So we went back home. Now we're practicing, and we're so used to doing this,
trying to catch that.
I remember I tied my hand behind my back with my belt. 6, 7, 8, just so I wouldn't touch the side. It was always the pitch. Once I got that, it was over.
Yeah.
Done.
Because the fader was just there.
It was just.
Yeah, because you're riding the beat.
I'm riding it.
But that pitch.
Yeah. And I'm getting ahead of myself again because a lot of people don't know this. In the beginning, all I did was battle. That's all I did. I went to the clubs. I wanted to eat you alive. I would just stand there and start going. This is, So
how did the battle? You'd stand there with your records and be like, "Let me get on," or like, was it like a battle? They had DJ battles, or
they had DJ battles. But what I'm talking about, what it was early on, I was real cocky.
Right.
So after I got good, and so let's go back. So Silly's.
Yeah.
One day, the DJ doesn't show up, and Ricky Sugimoto, I always remember, he was the general manager. And Joe Mail was the promoter, and they come to me, go, "James, can you play?" I go, "What do you mean? Can you play?" I was like, "I'm still practicing, dude. How do you know?" He said, "Yeah, but you know all the music." I go, "Yeah." I was like, "All right, come on, let's go." So I play.
Let's go.
And now that's my job. Now I'm the head DJ for the team disco.
Okay.
For the team disco.
Who was spinning it before? Was it Mike Taylor?
Yeah. So somebody lost their job.
Okay.
And then, anyways, years go by now. It's probably 80.
So when did that happen?
82.
Hey, we need a DJ.
That's 82.
82.
Yeah.
And how old were you? How old were you?
14.
Then? You're 14 years old.
Maybe 15 by now.
So you're 15, spinning at a legit nightclub for your peers.
Yeah.
And were your friends like bugging out? Like,
yeah.
"Yo, that's James."
Everybody was bugging out.
Like, "Yo,
but nobody was surprised.
Yeah, because you were already that guy.
I was already that guy. I always had the music.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that goes on, and then by the time I'm 16, the DJ doesn't show up at 9, and they're like, "Can you play till 2?"
Oh, so 6 to 9, or was it 5 to 9?
Whatever.
For it was teen, right?
They kick everybody out. There'd be a lineup. And remember, back in those days, it was 18 to drink.
Oh, dang, yeah.
Which they don't have no sense drink now that I'm a daddy. No, you don't.
Yeah, nobody should be. Yeah.
Nobody should be drinking 18. Only if you go into war. That's about it. But I always remember, again, I lived right down the road, and I remember I called my dad. I said, "Yo, they want me to stay here till 2. To do what?" And they want me to play. So they gonna pay you? I said, "Yeah, they gave me $150.
Let's go.
He says, "Okay, well, they this is my dad, a club owner.
Yeah, definitely.
They have to have everybody out by 2. You're done by 1:30. You be home by 1:45. I was like, "Bet." I said, "We on." Click. Somebody else lost their job.
So the fact that your dad was a club owner.
Yeah.
And wait, let's go back, rewind the fact that he dropped you and your sister off at a club, off the plane. "Hey, here you guys go. Go to this club, hang out, fight some friends. I'm out. Peace. Pick you up at 9.
Yep.
Boom.
Crazy, right?
So nothing was new to you at that point. I mean, you're 16. I mean, it was kind of, but to a point you're like, "Nah, this is."
I loved playing my music that I knew a lot of people didn't know. It was, for me, the essence of me being a DJ was to educate.
Right.
I wanted to share.
I mean, that's what a DJ is.
Yeah, I just wanted to here. One note, I have to say this because you're talking about the hip hop and all that. when I got to Point After and I moved here and I would go back,
Right.
you know who I would see that always stuck out? And I didn't know them. I became friends with them much later.
Okay.
Silver Lockers.
That's crazy.
Steven Silva,
Yeah,
Shelly
yeah.
Hussey, all those, Michael Drain.
Yeah.
Those were the cats. Those were the real hip hop cats before the breaking took over.
Right.
You forget it's all locking. It's all locking still.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Speedy talked about that.
Yeah,
It's all
locking. There was nobody breakdancing yet. And I always remember them. So when I'm coming up in the ranks and they're coming to the clubs, I'm like, yeah, man, nah.
Well, they were already Silver Lockers.
Oh, they were already Silver Lockers. Dino, all of them. Jason and Steven Silva, all of them. Dope. It was good times. Good
That's
times.
crazy. And that was so
That's 80.
So Point After, was it going at the same time as Silly's or kind of
No.
Okay, so it's Point After, Silly's.
Yeah, Silly's. I think Point After died off, and then Silly's kind of took over.
So you're telling me earlier Silly's had a lot of, I guess it was locking, popping. So you've seen a transition from locking, popping,
Absolutely,
breakdancing.
absolutely, 100%.
And you've seen the music was the same though. You could still dance, or it was more or less.
It started to morph. It
Right.
definitely started to morph.
Because
I mean,
it hits different for popping and locking as breaking.
popping and locking was funk.
Right.
That was a lot of funk.
Yeah.
And then after 79, 80 and Rapper's Delight and King Tim III and all that, then now hip hop is starting to kind of ooze, and the breaking and popping thing, man, when that first came out,
Did that just come like boom?
it
Like
was
a wave, or was it?
It was
was
no,
it
it was so gradual. It was so gradual because we would more and more rap records would come out, so we would start buying them and playing them. And a lot of the older,
they weren't feeling
the
it.
older, the younger, the first guard.
Yeah.
They were like, but I'm this young.
Yeah.
Shit, this is the shit.
I'm a
We
DJ,
got to play all this, and they were
Right.
like, stop playing that. That black music. And, it's just going to be a fad. And, that whole,
Right, yeah.
all that cliche-ish stuff. So, all that music started to come out, and certain people would gravitate to it, and that was that scene.
Okay.
And when we would walk around Waikiki, now this is how ridiculous I was. Me and my crew, we would walk through Waikiki with not one radio blasting. We'd have 3. Okay? I'd have the main JVC, have that output
Right.
connected to the input of the other radio.
No, you
the
didn't.
output of this radio into that input.
That did not happen.
Bruh,
What?
I would walk down and I said, yo, don't go too far. That line it's going to unplug. And then who was at the end? There was always somebody at the end with a bag of D-size batteries.
Oh yeah. Of course. Oh God.
And we would find our spot. And then back in the day, Waikiki was crazy.
Yeah.
We would run into crews.
Yeah.
And we'd try to stay away because, we didn't want our music to clash. And then finally we would lay down some linoleum or whatever and people start
That's
breaking
insane.
in.
I've never heard anybody talk about like aux to aux for boomboxes.
Bruh, trust. I always say this.
That's next level.
I call it my bocce, because now that I'm 56 years old,
Right.
when people drive by with loud music, I want to shoot them in the head. Will you turn it? You know what time it is? Turn this stuff down. But I was that nitwit.
Yeah. You're like, I was that guy.
Yeah, I was that guy.
Okay. Keep going.
Yeah.
Turn it down a little bit. Just a little, please.
I've gotten fired from nightclubs, people telling me to turn it down. They would come into, Pop, what are you doing? Don't,
Yeah. Don't touch.
Anyway,
Don't touch.
that's all the thing.
So I mean, what do you remember any of the guys you seen? Well, I like talking about like the transition between locking, popping, and breaking.
Easy peasy. So I told you that I gravitated to the Silver Lockers.
Yeah.
They were a huge influence on me, and I would always like to play music for them that made them move.
Yeah, totally.
And there was all about, I don't know if you guys remember, it was called strutting at first.
Yeah,
It
right.
was strutting and boogaloo and all that and the locking. But then, when it started to morph, I almost want to say there was this cat named Baby Bloss that came into town, and he did this like he just this tick. And everyone just freaked out. Like, whoa, what is that? And it was...
Was this at Silly's?
No, this was... I don't even remember.
But this guy wasn't from here. He just came and...
No.
boom.
And I remember looking at this guy, I was like, he gonna be a problem.
Oh.
Like meaning like he's gonna be competition.
Yeah,
He's gonna start taking people's shine because the girls were going crazy. And that's really all we're concerned about.
Exactly.
Girls
Yeah.
and music.
Right.
That was it.
Right.
But anyways, when I would watch, Michael Drain and all of them, the Silver Lockers, I would see them start to do the pop.
Yeah, yeah.
And they would start to master that.
Right.
And then one of my best friends to this day, Kona Fleming, he just was dope with the whole mannequin thing. And then Bits and Pieces, Frankie Ponymore and Mike, that was their cousins. So I would make tapes for them, and they, it was such a gradual thing. But I'll tell you what, I always remember this was pinnacle. I don't remember what movie was it. Was it Breaking? Was that the first one? Anyways, Breaking had come out, the movie.
Okay.
What year was that? I don't even know. But
84?
Huh?
I was going to say 4.
Yeah, 83, 84. I want to say 84. That's my
not
final
5.
answer. Not 5.
No.
No. We're well on our way in 85.
Yeah.
But 84, I remember, it was the opening, and everyone from, say, 80 to 84 that loved the rap music.
Right.
It was like a big opening. Everybody in the theater, we were all friends from the teen discos or whatever. We were there, and we were just like, this is what we do. It's on the big screen.
This is us.
And that went pop. Everybody was on about it.
Right.
Then now they have popping conventions that there's Waikiki Shell.
Right,
that was unreal.
Speedy was talking about.
That was crazy. Everybody danced to Planet Rock. I mean, you almost got sick of Planet Rock that single day right there.
I got sick of Planet Rock.
Bro, that was 82.
I didn't find out about it till like 88.
Dude, that was 82. Anyways, so yeah, it was very, very gradual.
So when did you start seeing people go down to the floor? I know Silly's had b-boy breaking nights
all day long. So
who's the first, like, can you recall who was like, hey, wait, they're not
we were
standing,
doing, I just remember
down.
I remember cats doing it in high school.
Okay.
So I went to McKinley for the most part, and we'd be all underneath the tree, and we would lay out that, and the people would just start going.
Yeah.
God, I can't tell you
any
the names that stick out are obvious. I mean, the Wizard B-Boys and ABC Breakers and Mechanical Masters. I mean, all of that, and then they had that Breaking Hawaiʻi thing.
Yeah.
That's
what year was that? That was,
God, I don't know, dude.
Was that in 86?
I don't know. I kind of shunned it.
Right.
I kind of shunned it because it was like, oh, y'all trying to take advantage of our stuff.
Was that like the equivalent of when Red Bull first took on B-boying and like now the Olympics? You know how like it's
maybe kind of sort of
Monster sponsoring or like T-Mobile sponsors.
Yeah. It could have been because I mean I love Kamasami Kong, but bro, Kamasami Kong was not in the trenches. Yeah. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
He was not.
I love you, Kama.
Nah.
Kong. But yeah, he wasn't in the trenches. But they made a lot of superstars in my head.
I mean, it was on TV. I mean, TV was everything.
Come on, man. Yeah, and don't ever. You talk about
radio and TV. Now you see those people on TV.
It was crazy. And let's not forget, if we talk about the Hawaii hip hop, I mean, there was another station that really, really, for me, I do believe, really, really fueled the fire. Right. That was Kisa.
Okay.
Auntie Loki.
Yeah.
And then my man Johnny J Jam.
Yeah.
I was so jealous because he got a spot on it, and I was like, how do I get on the radio? Right, I'm over here in the club.
Yeah. When you hear that,
Johnny J Jam, he's still my dude. He's still my dude. He's a little crazy, but
where's he at right now?
I think he lives in Tennessee or Kentucky or something like that.
And her Loki is
she's in LA.
LA?
No,
Vegas.
Yeah. Rory Wilde surprised me the last time I was in Vegas. She walked into our hotel room. I got emotional. You know what I mean? I was like,
yeah.
Dude. It was just Auntie Loki's right there.
Yeah, so speak on Auntie Loki, because I mean, as I've been doing my research, even before this podcast, I mean, I just, wanted to know about Hawaii hip hop and who's the first, asking around. That name would always pop up, Auntie Loki.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, someone explain to me who Auntie Loki is.
So Auntie Loki, she was a radio personality on Kisa. And then I guess they did some sort of promotions for the teen thing with Kisa because they were playing hip hop.
Yeah.
I'm thinking. I don't know. I'm guessing right now. Right. So she would come down and host the battles.
Okay.
And that was kind of cool because there was this DJ that we were heard and she'd come down and she was an older lady but it was like our mom, she was like our aunt, and they'd have and the guys would come out.
Yeah.
Johnny J Jam, he has a lot of it on tape.
Okay.
He has a lot of it on VHS.
I think he posted some stuff.
Yeah, he does.
YouTube.
He does post.
Okay.
He does post. I think I was in one of them. I was like, oh my God, I had hair.
I think I seen you in
the booth. Yeah, and I think I had a cigarette hanging in my mouth. I'm all of 16. I mean,
16.
Anyways, Auntie Loki, she was like the spokesperson.
Right. Okay.
And
what
to speak.
She was older, you said.
Way older.
So,
well,
did you ever talk to her why or how she gravitated towards?
No, I don't. I never
music,
never have.
Subculture.
I've never have. She was just always there.
Wow.
She was just always there. And then I think she started to branch out and do other things. And other promoters started to come in and started doing teen dances and throwing breakdance competition. And then the DJ thing started to come into play.
But she was
DJ
she was radio host.
Yeah.
So that's what made her lore even like Auntie Loki, authority.
Yeah. And then when she got together with Johnny, because Johnny was such a charismatic personality.
Right.
They kind of clicked really hard, really good. So
that was like the team.
Kind of took him under her wing, and that kind of became a team.
Wow.
And
so Johnny was more of a popper locker than radio host personality. DJ.
He was a popper locker breakdancer. Yeah.
Okay.
He was good.
Right.
He was good. He should have never won that competition. But I love you, Johnny. But come on now. Yeah. No.
Hey man.
Charisma goes a long way.
Oh, 100%.
Charisma and showmanship. And let me tell you, the brother still has it.
Yeah. So so then he transitioned to radio. Did Auntie Loki get him on the radio?
Yes. I'm pretty sure he did.
And they had a show together or two separate shows?
Two separate shows.
And they played all the newest.
All the newest and greatest stuff. I was so jealous. I remember one day, and I actually talked to him about this. I think I was on Tantalus getting high or something, and I'm listening to a show, Seething. And I was like, this guy's genius. He left the mic pot open. So it sounded like there was a party. You can hear them all talking, but the music was still loud. No. I just thought, this is so dope. This is dope.
Yeah.
Anyways, 20, 30 years go by. I told him that. I go, man, that was genius, man. He goes, James, I can't lie. He goes, the pod was broken. I had no choice. I was like, oh, man, you should have told me that.
You're like, this guy's genius. He's bringing a party to everybody
on the
radio.
I thought it was the dopest thing.
Feels like I'm right there. But nope. Hey, but those things, I mean, that's how DJ started, you know what I mean? They took the turntables. Hey, I could do this.
Yep.
I'm gonna change this mixer. Hey, I'm going back and forth. So I mean, what he was doing was nothing new in this whole sphere of hip hop.
Right.
So did you hearing Johnny J and Auntie Loki was like, man, I'm in the club every day spinning. I think I want to do this radio thing.
No, I knew I wanted to be on the radio. I didn't want to talk.
Right.
I hated talking. I never.
Says the guy I just claimed to be.
Bruh,
the
I would
Barry
never
White
talk.
Hawaii.
If you knew my friends, when they see me now, they're like, the guy that would never talk was afraid of the mic. I mean, I still am kind of. I still kind of get nervous. But quick story: when they used to tell me for the adults, James, you got to talk. I'm not. But I'm kind of learning how to do my thing. So what I would do, I would take my 4-track Porta Studio.
Nice.
I would take the drink specials.
Okay.
And I would, whatever. This is Thirsty Thursday. Your tequila shot. Whatever. Da. Pause. Write down the number. Okay. The next one.
Right.
Champagne on special. Da. Next number. So when they told James, and it was perfect every time. Talk about that was the first voice track.
What? Wait, this is in the club.
This is in the club because I didn't want to talk. I was so embarrassed. So I would pre-record it and I would just hit the button.
That's insane.
It was perfect every time, bruh.
That's insane. I don't know.
And this is 85.
Porta 1.
Yep. This is 84, 85. Easy peasy.
I never heard anybody say that.
Dude, I'm trying to tell you, if there was a way out, I was going to find it.
So you had all these like, talk about this, talk about that. And you never thought, you never wanted to, and did people tell you, hey man, you got a good voice or what?
The first time that happened, I'm in my 30s, and I'm working for Jamie Hyatt, and I don't remember what station it was, but he had just pulled me aside one day. He says, why? I just started to think about this. Why haven't you had a show? I go, I don't talk. Yeah. He goes, but dude, your commercials are unreal and da. You got this great. If you just be you,
right,
you're gonna be good. Man, I'm just not my thing. I'm not into that. He's, man, I want to put you on. I was like, pass.
But before that, you were all just mixing.
Yeah, always mixing.
DJing.
Just mixing.
When so who gave you your first shot to get on the radio, to spin live, mix, put mixes on the radio?
The late, great Kimu Akane.
Oh, nice.
Yep. I remember my friend, which is crazy, John Ervelino, he just called me recently. John was a crazy New Yorker. He had seen me play in the club. He had watched me. I don't know. I was cutting something up. It was probably Shaka Khan or something.
Right.
Oh, no, it was What Have You Done For Me Lately? And I'm messing the song up. And, you know, I can remember when they had dubs and acapellas, and I would do all that. He was like, man, you gotta do that, and you gotta put it on tape, and we gotta put it on radio. I was like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
So I go upstairs, I practice, finally, okay, boom, this is perfect.
And then let's explain to people. This has a one take thing.
Oh, it was a one take thing. Oh my God. Oh,
no computers,
dude.
Straight to cassette.
Oh, when I used to make my mix shows for I-94,
yeah,
you know, it would be a half hour, 45 minutes long. You remember those 90-minute tapes? And I'd have a 45, and I'd be perfect. I'm 40 minutes into it, and I train wreck.
You're like,
I gotta record the whole thing over again. Oh, that used to bug me out, dude.
This is before 4-track.
This is before my 4-track. This is before I learned how to edit. It was before anything. I didn't know about the razor blade and all that thing yet.
So you made the mix for them, and then they played it.
Yeah, so I made the mix for they played. Oh, that was the
What station was
that was 93 FMQ.
93 FMQ.
And I remember hearing it, and I just bug. And they're playing it in high rotation. And then they asked me to do another remix. It was Rock Me Amadeus. Remember, Rock Me Amadeus had all these different versions, so I just kind of did a mashup of all of them.
Yeah, okay.
You know, every verse it changed to each, you know, that kind of thing. And I think there was one more, I don't remember, but that kind of got my juices like, ooh, hearing my stuff on the radio is cool. And I think Jamie Hyatt was also the program director.
So you weren't even on the radio.
No.
Your mixes were on the radio. Did someone do this is James Cole in the mix, or did someone do that for you?
That was another highlight. There was a voice guy. My first sweeper I ever had, and everyone always remembers it. And they, when they meet me for the first time, they always go, "Ha ha, ha, James Cole's in the mega mix," because that sweeper was so popular back then. Well, it was all. We were the only station. You know, we kind of won by default. But you know, Bumper Morgan. I wish I still had that sweeper dry, because it was so he had the deepest, dopest
and
voice.
that was not someone from here at all.
No. He was from Texas.
And he just did all the bumpers for every
station. He was a station voice guy.
So you don't have it. You don't have a raw.
I think I have it on cassette, but not raw.
So how important? Let's go to this real quick. How important back then was the mixtapes to like hip hop in general, for music, for the scene at the time? Because I lived for that stuff.
Yeah, but that didn't happen.
Or was that later in the 80s?
You know, the whole big mixtape thing, I always remember it being really popular in the 90s.
Okay.
You know, prior to that whole mixtape thing, that was just what we did.
Right.
And that's how, you got that music? Who's got the latest music? You know, that's how those tapes circulated. And that's also how we made side money.
Yeah.
You know, now I'm selling them for 20. Price has gone up a little bit, and what you want it on that chrome tape?
Right. Nice.
Or you want on that normal, different price.
You know what's crazy? My sister went to school with Richie Aki, and she
Aki is my dude.
She was friends with him, okay? And she would bring home all the mixes free, right?
Yep.
Dude, tell me all those went missing. Yep. I was like listening to those joints all day long. I mean, I eventually got to know Richie because my sister and stuff. But I mean, I got
great stories with me and Richie.
I was like, dang, dude. And I was just like, I gotta. And I mean, that's crazy when I think about it. Just talking to you, that the mixtape and your mixtapes, what I mean. And then later on, mix CDs and everything. But I feel that's kind of a lost art to some extent.
No, well, now it's all on the cloud.
Yeah.
I try to put stuff on mine all the time. But let me backtrack. So in '85, I get fired from Silly's. Okay. And I think my whole life is going to end.
Yeah.
And I'm depressed.
Why'd you get fired?
I don't know. Just, when I'm 17 at the time, God knows.
You're bigger than the club.
God only knows what I was doing. I mean,
Right.
And I remember one of my friends worked on a cruise ship, Kalani Garcia. And he's like, dude, before we go out, I just got to go check in and da-da-da. He's just, come with me. So whatever. So there's this long line at the Siemens thing, and he goes, you should sign up. I said, sign up for what? He goes, they got nightclubs on the cruise ship. I was like, no, they don't. No.
Yeah.
Whatever, DJ. I'm just killing time.
Yeah.
So I get fired from Silly's thinking my whole life's going to end. And then one day the phone rings and says, "This is American Hawaii Cruises. Can I speak to James?" I'm like, "This is me. You DJ? Yeah." Da, 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 da. He's, "How'd you like to work on a cruise ship?" I was like, "What?" I go, "What's the deal?" He goes, "Well, it's 4 months on, 2 months off,
Right.
paid vacation. You got room, you got board, you got clothing, you got food, and you'll pay $2,000 a month." I go, "When do I leave?"
Nice.
He goes, "Well, that's the thing.
Oh,
Can you be here in
now.
3 hours?"
What? 3 hours?
Pew!
Yeah.
I was gone. And my whole thing is I wanted to get the hell out of Hawaii when
Right.
I turned 18.
Okay.
Because I wanted to be this
Yeah.
big dude or whatever, move back to the city. Anyway, so I work on the cruise ship as a DJ. I'm not going to go through all that, but I was on it for 5 years.
Wow.
And I that's where I fell in love with Hawaii.
Okay.
Because we would, every Saturday pick up new tourists, 1,500 tourists.
Yeah.
And we'd go to Kauai, play all day, get back on the ship,
Right.
wake up the next day, we're in Hilo, play all day, get back on the ship, wake up, we're in Kona. I got to see all the islands.
That's dope.
That's when I fell in love with Hawaii. And I just said, you know what? We're going to make roots here. But while I'm on the ship and I would take my 2 months off, I'd go back to Silly's. They'd hire me. So the DJ that was there, G-Man, he'd be pissed off at me. He was like, "What are you doing here?" I go, "Dude, they want me to play. I'm here for 2 months." He's like, "Dude," I'm like, "What am I gonna do? I'm gonna turn down this money?"
Wait, they fired you, didn't hire you?
Yep. Okay, now also cannot do this early hip hop thing without mentioning the late great Daniel J. So
yes.
I heard Daniel J on I don't remember what station it was. Was it I-94? No, it wasn't I-94, but it was KIKI. It just wasn't called I-94 yet. And he had a mix show on there. And I was like, that's my mix show. In my brain, I'm thinking, that's my mix show.
Right.
So I don't know what I do, but whatever I did it right, but I took it.
And that became your mix show.
It became my mix show. And then,
What year was this when you got that mix show? And by the way, shout out to Daniel J.
Right.
Live a kid to
Right.
Daniel J, for sure.
I want to say maybe 88, 87. I don't know.
But you got that mix show.
Oh, I got it.
You got it.
I got it. And then what ends up
Are you
happening?
still on the cruise ship?
Yes.
Okay.
Then I get fired from the cruise ship. That's a great story. I'm not going to get
I
into
bet.
that.
You can tell that there.
Got nothing to do with hip hop.
Yeah, okay.
Joe Ho was really good friends with this cat named Alan Oda. So Joe Ho pulls me aside one day. He says, "Look, man, my good friend Alan Oda, he's going to become the program director for this station called I-94, and he wants you to be the music director." I'm like, "Man, I don't know anything about being no damn music director." I mean, he goes, "Oh, and it's a 9 to 5. I said, "I've never had a 9 to 5 job in my life. 9 p.m. to 5 a.m., but never 9 a.m. to 5 a.m.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Anyways,
Wait, straight to music director.
straight to music director.
Wow.
And I had
New
never,
station, straight to music
and
director.
I had never been up at 9 a.m. to go to a job before. And I
You're
remember
sleeping.
going, "Wow, it's bright. There's a lot of people up. This is crazy."
What y'all
Anyways,
doing up?
it was a great thing because we got to play a lot of music that not as much hip hop as we would like.
So you open, I mean, I would say open I-94, not open. But
I'm not 100% sure if
like,
that's
who was like the
accurate.
first crew or?
But it was all of us. It was Lanai and it was Cool E and Alan Oda and Doug Lee and myself and Shalyn Cole, Roy Wild. That was
Legends. And so you were the music director.
I had no clue to what I was doing. Trust and believe.
So yeah, no clue.
All I knew was the music was coming to me first, and that's all that mattered.
I got it.
I got it.
White labels.
Stacks and stacks. It was Christmas every day.
And back then, I mean, sheesh.
Because of that, talk about hip hop and our vinyl junkiness.
Oh, I love it. Yep.
I'm getting records from all the labels. I'm getting I'm on the Billboard whatever list. I'm on all these lists.
Yeah.
At the height, Cavett, I don't know if you know this, but I had 100,000 pieces of wax in my storage. 100,000. I'm down to about 30,000 now, but that's all in the story.
I'm down 30. I'm down 30. We can talk about that. Like, I mean, I don't know if we should go into the flood that happened.
No, we don't need to go into that.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
we're
anyway,
having a happy day right now.
So you're a music director, and so you're getting all these records in, dispersing it to everybody.
Yeah.
Was there any DJs at that point that was James Cole when he was 13? Did you see come up at that time in I-94? You know what I mean?
Yes. Joe Cortez. Yeah, that's the first name that comes to my brain.
Wow.
You know Joe?
I don't know him personally, but I know.
What was his DJ name? Oh, he's going to be mad. Anyway, he's like the number one dude in Maui.
Yeah.
He has a company called Next Level.
He was like that young,
young
James Cole, like.
You see people who have fire and desire and who have the passion,
right?
And those are the cats that I like to, I gravitate to.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because they're just doing it. They're not asking, they're just doing it because they have to. They have no choice but to do it.
Yeah.
And I always key on that, and those are the cats that I like to.
So you're on I-94, not even on-air personality.
No,
you're
not. I would never talk.
The music,
never ever talk.
Mixes. I mean, that era, man, that was critical. Like mixes, the music.
It was so much fun.
So there was no. I felt like there wasn't really no mainstream or underground. It was just hip hop or just music. It's just going. You know what I mean? I was listening to it all the time. But then how long did that last for you?
Long time. That happened a long time. Now at this point now, I'm a little older now, right? I'm throwing all these parties, hip hop parties. I love house music too, so I'm throwing all these raves. And
what year was that? Was that your?
My first rave I ever threw was with my brother Daniel J. He opened up my eyes to the whole promoting game.
Right.
I remember him going, "We're gonna throw our own party." I go, what do you mean? He goes, "We're gonna throw a little rave." Well, it wasn't even called rave yet. We're gonna throw a little house party. I remember it was at Anna Bananas, and we walked down. I was like, "This place is a dump." He goes, "Yeah, but look, we just move these tables.
Yeah.
We'll put the DJ booth over there, and we'll sell some tickets." I was like, "All right." And it's coined the first rave, but let's not go into that.
What year was that?
90, maybe 89.
Wow.
Yeah, maybe 89.
So it wasn't a rave; it was just house music.
Yeah, it was just house. Yeah, techno wasn't even really hitting yet. But anyway,
what's your favorite type of house music?
Oh, I like soulful house, soulful
nice.
vocal house music.
And that's what I loved about raves back in the day. Shout out to G Spot. He the one that put me on to raves and like gave me my own room, hip hop room. Back in his room.
Yep.
But I got through that being just like this militant hip hop guy. I learned about drum and bass, house, all that stuff. And I appreciated it.
I loved it all. I still love it all.
Jungle, trance, techno.
What I loved about Silly's, when I got to be the teen disco, that was like the birth of the hip hop thing because we were playing all that early hip hop, all the early BAM, the nucleus and all that electro funk and all that. And that was huge. It was huge, and everyone just loved it. But then as we got older and we got to the adult nightclubs, I mean that's when now 85, 86. So now it's starting to really take hold, DMC and all that. Not just Sucker MC. Now it's, they're crossing over and there's so many great hip hop acts. And, that was, we would get in trouble.
Right.
Because the crowd would change.
Okay.
Because now, you're getting this different element inside there. And all the clubs in town were like that. We're all changed. All the sound was starting to change to hip hop. And everyone couldn't stand it. So they would kind of abandon it or, good story. I remember I would play my hip hop music at Silly's, and everyone's going, I would play NWA, and I was going off,
right?
And manager be like, sit them down. I go, what are you talking about? He goes, look around. Nobody's drinking. I said, yeah, they're dancing. He goes, yeah, sit them down. They get them drinking.
Oh.
He says, play something white. And I always remember my go-to record was like,
so what was it?
Owner of a Lonely Heart by Yes. Or the song is funky though. Or The Romantics.
Okay.
Talking in Your Sleep.
Yeah.
Everyone would just turn. And I would do it like abruptly. Because I'd have an attitude.
Yeah.
Everyone just kind of I parted the sea.
Wow.
And I had to keep it up. I would always have to go back and go, can I switch it now?
Yeah.
No. Couple more songs. Can I switch it now? Okay, go.
People dancing and sweating wouldn't equal drink sales? I mean, is that relative at all or no?
Yes and no. I totally get it now. I mean, as an older guy now and a club owner, I totally get it. Great lesson learned. Yeah. It made me become a better DJ in the fact of I knew how to rotate the floor.
Rotate the floor.
I'm a master at rotating the floor, and I'm not afraid to rotate the floor. Hey. Most DJs, once they lose the floor, they shatter. They don't know how to get them back. I love that.
Yeah.
I would always, again, ego. James, so, if I'm the next DJ coming, where do you want me to put it? I say, it don't matter. You go wherever you want, bro.
Play whatever
Because I
you
ain't
want.
going nowhere that you've been.
Right, yeah. I got you. I can mix into anything.
Don't even worry about it, bro.
Don't even give me headphones. I got you.
Nothing.
I'm
Anyways.
gonna throw this in and ride this pitch, and I got you.
So one day, I went over there to, when can I switch it? He got mad, kind of put me in a little chokehold. I'm not going to name you.
Chokehold.
Anyways, I was done.
Yeah.
So I went back. I started taking my needles off.
Oh, there it is.
And it just went pure on.
What time was it?
I don't know, 1 o'clock in the morning.
Oh,
I'm out.
People are still there.
You're never going to work in this town, James Coles. You're going to be blacklisted, blah, 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 blah. Go play your nigga music somewhere out there.
Right.
You're never going to work again. Not even 24 hours later, I'm the head DJ at Maharaja.
Let's go.
Thanks to my sister.
Shout out to sister.
Shout out to Yvonne.
Maharaja was a
Maharaja I was not in Kansas anymore. So my whole life was Sillies.
Right.
Sillies, it was 200-300 people and that was it. And I only got to play one style of music.
Yeah.
I mean, I would try to play house.
Yeah.
They hated it. Locals hate it. But when hip house came out,
Right.
they kind of liked it,
I see that.
But it was never really caught. So when I go to Maharaja, I always remember meeting the late, great Peter Dietrich. James Coles, I've been looking for you. So let's go to the booth. And I walk into the booth. It's the size of my apartment.
Wow.
I'm like, oh, Jesus, Lord. This is, I forget the guy's
Back then, did clubs have their own records? They did, right?
Yeah.
Because I remember when I started buying a little later, I would buy records, use records. I'd be like, hey, this is from. This is from.
Yeah.
So clubs had their records.
Most of the time, we all brought our own,
Right,
but
yeah,
they
yeah.
also had, so we didn't have to bring as many.
Yeah.
Because everywhere I went, I rolled 5-6 crates deep at least.
But there was already
at least
like,
300-400 records already there.
Okay.
And that was, usually the head DJ's job to maintain it.
Yeah.
And all of that.
So Maharaja popped up?
Yeah, Maharaja popped up. That was crazy because I remember looking at the DJs. They looked at me and they already knew. And that became my house. It was good times, bro. It was good times. But what's great about Maharaja, it was because it was international.
Right.
So I can play my hip hop and my R&B.
Yeah.
Rotate the floor, play my house music, and I'd still have a pack. So all the Japanese and the international would love the dance music. I'd put them in a frenzy for 45 minutes, sit their asses down, bring the locals back with some Teddy Riley, some whatever hip hop music we had, and it was a constant rotation.
That is a talent, a skill that
was
is
beautiful.
lost, I feel. It was beautiful. Because you're doing it on the fly. Like there's no BPM counter, there's no screen to look at. It's just you, turntables, and reading the crowd. And
That's the most important thing.
And that is today. I feel like a lot of DJs, they don't know how to rotate the floor. I don't think they even know the term to rotate the floor. They know clearing the floor, but
I know some of y'all real good at that. No, I'm playing. I'm being funny.
No. I've been there, done that. Still do it. But I mean, rotating the floor, like you bringing it up, man, it just kind of just makes me feel like, dude, this is like a term that needs to really be taught. To the DJs.
And you can only do it. You have to learn it in front of you. You can't be taught. You have to be in front of it and going, okay, sit them down. Like,
if you tell a DJ now, okay, sit them down, they'll be like, what?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
They just want to keep going.
Yeah.
Till you burn them out, right? But that art of rotating the floor, which is, whew, man.
But also burning them out. Most of the cats, when I tell them, most of us older DJs, I mean, working an 8-hour shift, that was normal. That was 8 p.m. I got off at 3:30. That was just normal.
Even now,
playing 2 hours, I mean, that's nothing.
No
but
biggie.
I'm not trying to discredit anyone, but what I loved about the essence for me, this is just for me. What I love about DJing is I love opening the room. I like a cold room. I like 0 people there.
Yeah.
So because I love watching the 10, 20 people come in and sit down, and I want to. No one's gonna dance, but I want to see it. Am I getting some nods?
Yeah, nah.
Am I getting some taps or thing? Okay. I see them.
I love that.
Now in the room, now we got 50, 60 people inside there. All right, now the alcohol's taking effect. Let me see if this will get. I'm not trying to get everybody up, but I know I bet you I can get that person up.
No,
I'll play that.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's just I love that part. Anybody can rock it when it's crowded.
Yeah,
that's easy.
Yeah,
rock it when there's 50.
You know what it is? Is when you start it. and you see the heads bob, you're like, all right. But it's always getting that one girl.
Yep.
You look at that girl. What is she liking?
Yep.
Get her up.
Yep.
You grab her friend.
Uh-huh.
Like
that's exactly it. It's beautiful.
Once you get those 1 or 2 girls up, it's
Let's
done.
go.
It's done.
Yep.
And that's like, and like you said, it's got to be there. I got chicken skin thinking about it.
It's fun.
Because, like, I didn't play mainstream stuff, so mine's even harder, but I had to go in my crates and figure out what can I get. Because if I'm opening something like a restaurant, right? Oh, you're going on at 9 o'clock. Okay, cool. Those guys aren't there to hear what I got to play.
Right.
But how can I make them?
Yep.
Right? And that's always my challenge, but it's a challenge that I feel that we loved.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And
I loved it. To this day, so I got this little gig I do every Saturday at the beach house, and I had to tell my guy, because I would come in at 11.
Right.
But I'm 56 years old. I ain't trying to stay out past 11. So I was like, I'll open.
Yeah.
James, you're going to open?
They think you want the prime spot.
No, I don't want no. I've had enough shine. I don't care about none of that. Let me open.
Yeah.
So I work 7-11. I go home. Bye.
That's what's up.
Got
Get it,
to
young
go.
guys. Get it, young boys. Do your thing.
You said something that made me think about something. Now, let's go back to the hip hop. Oh, you said I didn't play a lot of mainstream. Ooh, you know how much flack I used to get for that? Because a lot of my peers knew that I played only, when I was playing for the teen, it was all underground. Well, whatever.
Yeah.
Not even underground.
Because it was,
yet.
it was underground, because it was new.
It was just new.
So unheard of.
Yeah. So when I had to go and play for the adults or say a Maharaja, James, why are you playing this shit? Whatever I'm playing, like a Pump Up the Jam or something. Man, look, I got to give everybody something. I'll come back with some Eric B. Don't worry. But, a lot of the young cats, when they see me now, I'm just such a mainstream DJ.
Oh, yeah.
Man, I'll put my time in. Stop it.
No, yeah. What's funny is like me coming up, coming a little later and I was that guy. I was like, James Coleman, mainstream. But then when I got to understand what it is to be a working DJ, what it is to live off being a DJ.
Especially in Hawaii. Let's not forget that.
And and then I understood what it took.
Yeah.
And it took compromise. But no, not discredit. And I realized I am not giving them the proper credit that they need because they came where I came from. But you got to make the necessary moves to put yourself in those situations to win and be successful in order to come back to Cavett. Let me get you a gig. You know what I mean? Back when I was coming up. But guys like you came where I came from, reach the heights in order to pull everybody up. You got to do that. Or else we're all going to be down in the kiddie pool like, hey, yo, you know what I mean? But you came up and it's like, yo, I'm going up to the penthouse. But I got you guys.
42 years. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Raising my family on it. It's crazy. That's the biggest question everyone will ask me. Dang, 40 plus years, dude? Really?
Love it.
I say it's not just DJing, but it's like if I go back to the DJ school I had, you had to learn everything.
Yeah.
And I wanted to learn everything that DJ. It all came from being a DJ. From being a promoter, it was because I was a DJ. Right. Being a radio producer, DJ. Being a music director, DJ.
So what made you want to start that school?
Well, that's good.
It was first called, wasn't United DJs at first? Right?
No. We had to come up with a cool name because the name was so cheesy. It was Musical Youth. Okay. It was Musical Youth. That's what I called it at first. So after the second...
Does it ever get confused for reggae?
Yeah, all the time. But only the old cats know that.
Right. Okay, there you go. That's
so I remember I'm working at Zanzibar, and my second child's born, and I'm coming to this point where I'm like, look, I can't stay out to 2, 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to work till 11. Look, man, I'm going to. I just cut. I'm going to open, and find out this ain't even right.
Yeah.
Let me just do my radio gig. There's no more DJing for a while.
Right.
Let me just go raise these kids.
Nice.
So that's what I did. I remember in 2003. I always tell everybody, 2003 is when I stopped keeping up.
2003, when the music stopped.
Is it 2003? Oh my God, it was. Yeah, 2000.
Hey man, that takes a man to do that.
I just wanted to pull back. I had to pull back and just raise. I mean,
it was time. Yeah, it was time. Yeah.
Where was I going to go with that story?
So you started to give back to the youth?
Oh, yeah, that's it. So about a year or two goes by, and I'm sitting there watching, Bob the Builder with my kids, whatever. Yeah. And, a McDonald's commercials come on, and it's all DJing. I'm like, what is this?
That's not
then I hear a Trickster for Kids, and he's scratching. I'm like, oh, we're in trouble. I'm thinking we're done now.
I feel you.
DJing is now crossing over to the mainstream. Everyone's going to want to be a DJ, and they're going to be wanting to do it all for the wrong mother reasons. So I was like,
nah.
I have to do something.
Yeah.
And I didn't know. And anyways, and this just came up a school and then the whole 501c3 thing came up and anything, it just kind of tot. And I think I actually always remembered having a soft spot for Harry and Jeanette Weinberg's Boys and Girls Club at Washington Intermediate.
Right.
So I just cold called this cat. His name's was Kaleo.
Talk about full circle.
Yeah, no, and that was the whole thing, that whole full circle. So I remember just cold calling him. I said, hey, I got this idea. I got all this equipment. I just maybe teach some kids.
Yeah.
I don't get paid. I just want to teach them. He said, well, just what do you think you're gonna do? I said,
right.
All right. He brings me into this room about the size of this, and he says, this is yours. I go, what? And I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, you know what?
I don't know what's going to expect. So we make the flyers like I'm promoting.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone's going to show up.
Right.
I think I'm working for 104.3. It was called Extreme Radio. It hasn't changed to power yet.
Yeah.
And I think they give me a little bit of push. Right. And it was a long that kids wanted to sign up. And I always remember the first little girl that signed up. I always remember her. She became one of my best students.
Was that DJ Betty?
Exactly.
Nice.
Yeah, it was DJ Betty.
Wow.
Little. She looked like a little rugrat.
Yeah.
But she had it. And she also learned fast that she wasn't going to do that long.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that, she figured that out. So now I think she's a nurse now. And all that.
She's a nurse now.
That's wonderful. But
that's cool.
That's why I ended up doing it.
You had a bunch of DJs run through that school, though. I mean, who else came through
there? It is
there?
a trip. So I'm sitting there, and I'm looking at this one guy DJing, and I'm like, damn, is that? And I don't remember his real name because I go, is that? And I say his real name. I was like, Mass Funk. I was like, that's my dude. And then I think I'm talking to one of my friends, and another guy heard me say, he's like, it was so funny. It was like in the movie. You trying to tell me you taught? This is what he wanted to say.
Right.
You trying to tell me your old ass taught Mass Funk how to DJ? That's what I know. Nice. That's what he wanted to say.
Yeah.
And then when old boy got off, and he was like, James, he's like, this guy said he taught you. He goes, yeah. And the dude was like, oh, let me buy you some shots. It was the cutest thing.
And that's got to be the biggest reward, right? Like,
oh no, it's an unbelievable reward.
Full circle back to Washington.
It's crazy.
And then now you're teaching DJ.
Yep.
Where you basically kind of started becoming the DJ by selling those mixtapes.
Yep.
Or those tapes.
Those tapes.
And now what's okay? What for you? Okay, real quick, last question. I mean, I want to talk about hip hop, future of hip hop. You've been on the radio. You've done it all. And you've seen it all. You've seen many artists come through. What is it that ceiling? Why can't we break that ceiling for any hip hop specific artists to make it?
I get this question
all
the time. I get this question all the time, and I'm not.
Let's come correct. Keep it hip hop.
A lot of people don't see us as we don't struggle here. That's their perception.
No, 100.
So they don't think that we got that real.
Yeah.
And no disrespect to our hip hop community. And trust me, I'm a fan. Chris Styles, you know what I'm saying? Osna, all those IA. I mean, what's that? Immerse. I'm a fan.
Yeah.
But a lot of them, they tried too hard, I think, to sound like somebody else.
Right.
And they just never. I think the closest that was really authentic.
Yeah.
And I don't mean disrespect. I might be choosing the wrong words.
Right.
Was the Angry Locals crew, man. I mean, Osta's a beast.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Jonah's a beast.
Yeah.
But I will say, I think that's what I think. I just think they tried whatever sound was popping. They did that, and it just didn't come off as authentic, even though it was authentic to them.
Right.
But because the mainland doesn't think that we struggle, they're not making the connection.
Yeah.
I thought for sure that one track that Jimmy and them put out, and they used that Honolulu.
Yeah.
I thought that was so good.
Yeah.
I was just like, that's gonna put us on the map.
Yeah.
I was so disappointed.
Yeah.
It should have.
It should have.
It was right.
So
it was
good.
there.
It played on all the mix shows.
Dude, it was so good. It's still good.
It's really good. It's so good.
Like,
it's so good. Did you know? Oh, I don't want to say this, but this Jimmy's episode will come out. Did you know that that's not actually the original version?
No, I did not know that.
Taco told me it was actually a posse cut.
Wow.
Yeah, with all the High State fam.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was like over here in the podcast, like, what? What? And he's like, nobody heard it.
Nobody heard it.
So he let me hear it after. I'm like, oh my God. But that's the genius. Shout out to Tasho, Size One,
Yep.
Jimmy Taco.
Yep.
They seen something and then, they did the thing. And it went to heights. It went to, you know what I mean? But that's where I felt like that. I told Taco this. That's the extent of where we've reached. You know what I mean? You can't, I'm not discounting Bruno Mars, but that's a whole different thing, right?
A whole different thing.
Yeah. But I mean, so that's what you think? You think it's the struggle? I never heard that struggle thing,
Yeah,
which makes total sense.
Because that's what it is, right? Everyone wants that struggle and da-da-da-da.
Right.
But they don't never take us seriously because you ain't struggling in Hawaii. Because they don't live here and they don't understand it. It's very unfortunate.
So do you think when you hear it, you'll know?
I thought I heard it in Honolulu.
Yeah.
I thought I heard it a few times with a bunch of the angry local stuff. I
Yeah.
thought I heard it a few times with Chris Styles. I don't know.
Do we need like a team like positioned in certain hierarchies?
No, well, I don't know. I just think everyone should just keep doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
You just got to follow your heart and keep doing what you're doing. Yeah, we can try to be, tactical on all this and try to do it for this money and do it for that. But I mean, if you just, I don't know, I've always been that cat where it's just do it from the heart and eventually it's going to come. I know nobody wants to hear that, but that's just kind of where I'm at.
All right. So, I mean, I was going to tell you, leave us with some knowledge, but was that it? You got something else in you?
No, I don't know what to tell you, man. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. I think that the whole hip hop community as a whole, I think has done a wonderful job, and they just got to keep on going. Try not to follow this new thing that's happening right now. Let's kind of skip over that and go to the next. I mean, the whole, just let's kind of skip that over and just get to something else. I don't know, but I think everyone's doing. They just got to keep on doing what they're doing. I mean, and a lot of the guys that I've already named, they're older now. So I mean, who are the new cats? I'm not in those trenches anymore.
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
I am not in those trenches. And you know what? I threw a lot of teen parties, and I'm thinking I want to try to start throwing the teen parties again. That was kind of my market. That was kind of my lane for a long time, and that's where I was able to have my finger on the new up-and-coming DJs, have my finger on the new hip-hop artists, and give them a platform to shine. I remember I tried to, put Chris Styles and all the guys on at the water park one day. I think I even got Paul Wall to kind of be a headliner, and just didn't go.
Wow.
But, you just got to keep on going.
Right.
Yeah. Follow your heart, period. That's all I can do. That's all we got.
True that. And that's it. ALANUI MELE with DJ or James Coles. Appreciate you.
Holla.
Peace.